Well, to speak about the drama unfolding in the Banyana camp is sports journalist and City First News editor Timothy Molobi. A very good afternoon and welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Timothy, an interesting choice that Safa would decide to actually go ahead with an announcement of a sponsorship for Bafana Bafana in this week where they're supposed to bid farewell to our national women's team.
Talking about taking the shine away from Banyana Banyana. It's really ironic that this sponsorship, the timing of launching this sponsorship is really surprising. But it's not surprising with Safa. They knew as late like last year that the team is going to the World Cup. But they wait up until the last minute to sort out, the nitty-gritties of the team. The issue of uniform, the issue of attire, the issue of backroom staff, the issue of the contract, all the issues that were raised, I think these are valid concerns from the players, including, the pitch. If you looked at the Jakani pitch, and I don't buy this story that Safa is saying that there were no grounds available. This is the association that got about $1 million from FIFA to prepare the team. As we speak now, the likes of Zambia, they are playing in Europe, playing teams that are going to the World Cup. Take nothing away from Botswana. Yes, they are a formidable side. But if you look at the caliber of the teams or the countries that Banyana are going to play, you need to play the teams that will play a similar style of football that you're going to play at the World Cup. But if it's a mismatch.
Timothy, let's hope your line holds out. It seems like it's cracking a little bit. So we've seen people choose almost two sides on who they're going to support. Some saying that the World Cup team and the Banyana players are traitors. Others saying that finally they've actually spoken up. Who is actually at fault here? And who's to blame?
I fortunately had a peek at the contract that was given to the players. It's a blank contract. If I were in the players' shoes, I would not have signed it because you don't know what to sign. It guaranteed each player $30,000 for the first round of matches. But even that is not in the contract. So, I'm with the players this time around. I'm not sure why that figure is not included in the contract. And then I think what the players union is raising as well, saying, yes, Banyana have got sponsors. What is it that Safa is putting on top of what FIFA is giving? I think that is the impasse as we speak.
You mentioned the pitch at the Tsakane Stadium. We saw it. We have players in our squad that have got a lot of fear around getting injured at a World Cup. Tembi Kgatlana comes to mind, Linda Motlalo. So obviously key members of our Banyana team understandably would be nervous going to an inferior pitch. When you saw that pitch, is this the kind of field that we would like our national team going to a World Cup to play on?
Well, and this is the piece that the PSL said no to any of the clubs to play in that pitch. So why do you take a national team to such a stadium which has not been confirmed by the league because it's substandard? They go into the World Cup where they're going to play in top-notch pitches, yet you want them to play in such a bizarre pitch, so to speak. So I'm with the players, and I'm not sure when this game was arranged. To see, it looks like everything was a last-minute thing, which is for me is uncalled for because they should have gotten the caliber of. Even taking the team to Bombela, taking the team to Moses Mabhida, to Orlando Stadium, FNB Stadium. This is a send-off for Banyana Bafana who are going to the World Cup. Would they have done the same with Bafana Bafana? I doubt.
You wrote an article saying or mentioning that Panyaza Lesufi, Premier of Gauteng, mentioned that Safa should actually apologize for what we saw play out this weekend. Do you think Safa would?
I think they have no choice. This is an embarrassment. It's a disgrace to the country. And then they need to raise their hands up and say, and apologize to the country, apologize to everyone, because what we saw yesterday, starting from Safa, having to put a makeshift team the last minute. When Banyana Banyana were there, they were ready to go and play. Contrary to what the other people were saying, that they didn't want to play that match. I think the nation owed an apology, and I'm waiting for Safa to apologize to the nation and everyone who's involved, because what happened there should not have happened. It should be condemned in the strongest terms. I think Safa owes us an apology.
Safa CEO Linda Munyapao said today, when she addressed the media and the television media that were at the sponsorship announcement for Bafana Bafana, that they only received the amendments that were being proposed by Banyana Banyana on Saturday morning, which meant that there was little time for them actually to conclude those contracts. Is that true?
It might be true, but remember, they only gave the players a contract only last week. This is what Panyaza was told yesterday in the press conference. This is what he said to the media, that the players said they were given the contract only last week, Monday, to go look at those contracts and then obviously to have their inputs and bring back the contract. And obviously when they were not happy with certain processes that were not there, then they had to take back to Safa. And then this is where the issue started. And then the question that I asked specifically was, what was the lesson learned out of this episode? Is that why leave everything to the last minute? I mean, we knew as last year when we won the AFCON that we were going to World Cup a year later, but we wait up until the last week before we jet to Australia and New Zealand to finalize the contract. But the question is, why only now?
So the team was supposed to be leaving on Wednesday. The big question is, who's going to be on that plane?
Banyana Banyana have to be on that plane. There's no any other team. They are ready to go and play. I just hope if the meeting is not taking place now between Banyana and the Players Union and Safa, and also tomorrow I see there's a meeting between the Minister of Sport and the Players Union. I expect them to iron out everything before they jet up, because they cannot go to the World Cup if they still have outstanding issues. I mean, as we speak now, I think the morale is down. And then who is to blame? I mean, if they go to the World Cup and then they don't perform well, people are going to turn against Banyana and say, see, everything being sorted out, ironed out before the departure, maybe they would have done something. But I think Safa and everyone involved should speed up these negotiations and make sure that we take a heavy bunch of players to the World Cup.
What can we expect then from South Africa at the World Cup when they go to New Zealand under such a cloud?
Well, let them give Banyana what they want. I think the easy thing is that there must be figures and numbers in the contract. Even the $30,000 is not part of that contract. And this is what the team are saying. They say, yes, we've got a guarantee from FIFA, but why is it not part of the contract? If they put that money there and also maybe add something on top of that, because they are guaranteed 565,000 each. Why can't Safa say, on top of this 565, we give you 35,000, and then you are guaranteed 600,000. I think that would be a fair amount for each and every player.
City Press News editor and sports journalist Timothy Molobi chatting to us about the turmoil in the South African women's national camp ahead of the FIFA Women's World Cup. Thank you so much for your time here on Newzroom Afrika.